shepherd's pie in a long time. I'm thinking it's about time.
Yeah.
Right? I do beef. I
This
don't
is
get.
weather for that. You don't do the mix.
I don't do lamb, but
That works.
you can literally do a pound of hamburger, frozen mixed vegetables, and some garlic and thyme, and still be pretty good, right?
Oh yeah. I do a pretty good one at the Irish bar, kitty corner for me.
Michaela? People swear by that place.
It has its place. Like they've got like 3 good dishes, and yeah, reasonable beers. But it's a nice vibe, good place to hang out.
Good vibes for sure.
Yeah.
I enjoyed the barbecue brisket nachos across the street at 181. You ever had those there?
I've had the nachos. They do a lot of good food. Their burger's great, actually, at 181.
You better not talk loud because people are starting to starve themselves.
Oh, right. Yeah, the burgers are good there. They've got a Cuban sandwich there that's really good. They've actually got jerk chicken that's really good. Very spicy.
Oh,
What do you say? You talking to himself?
okay.
Is that an organ joke?
Yeah, it should be.
It is now.
It is
Not
now.
yet.
Thank you.
Here he is, the Ramon Vargas at Temple of New Rochelle. Look at him. He's got the same shoulders and everything.
It's true.
Same hair.
It's true.
Cinco esta Puebla.
I love that song. That's like one of those songs that makes me wish I was a tenor.
It's wordy.
It is, but it's just so fun.
That's literally how he starts. Literally, Duke walks on stage and sings that.
Yep.
I mean, he has like a page of da 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 with Borsa, and then straight into it. That's a tough role, man.
Yeah, I believe that.
Because you got that, you have Part of Me de Lagrime, obviously La Donna Immobile, and then the quartet is like an aria with some backup singers. So Verdi, you really have to know what you're doing.
I believe it. I'm trying to think. I think I've seen it twice at the Met. And the first guy was what's his name?
Flores,
Not Flores.
Bechawa,
He wasn't super famous, but he was excellent.
Grigolo,
No,
Polentani.
this would have been like early to mid 2000s. What was his name?
Not Giordani.
No,
CBC, not Via Zone because he's famous.
no. My former roommate used to play. Like he teaches now, and she would play for his studios. He paints apparently. What's his name? He was excellent though. He was really good.
Joseph Calleja.
He was a white guy.
Not
Say
Neil, not
Italian.
Neil Sheikoff because he was
Not
singing
Chicago.
Grigolo.
Yeah, I think he was like Italian, but like American Italian.
Hello, video okay?
Yeah. This guy with the silver shoes is a character. In case you haven't seen him before, right? You can just tell, right?
Oh yeah.
Testing, 1, 2, 3.
As a character to me.
Testing,
That's the one.
testing, testing, 1, 2, 3.
Great.
Testing, 1, 2, 3. Coming in? Hello? It's okay.
Yep, he was good.
Yeah, for singing the Duke, like, oh man, that was like powerful Duke voice.
It's just a good opera. I like Rigoletto. I love Verdi, honestly.
You'd be great, Magdalena.
Aw, thank you.
I'm a little hit and miss with him. He's just got so many operas that,
What'd you say?
that he's what's that?
I said, what'd you say?
I started to sing Bella Filia to her.
Love it.
Distraction.
I'm a little hit and miss with him because he's got so many operas that like when you listen to all 40 of them, you're like, right.
This was a formula.
Yes, yeah. These were not all original ideas all the time, you know.
Right.
But
But
like
the best ones?
the best ones are the best that are out there.
Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah.
Which is what? Traviata and
Traviata,
Rigoletto?
Traviata,
I like
Rigoletto,
Otello.
Oh, yeah.
Falstaff.
He writes a mean duet, that's for sure. With his string pizzicati with some of those duets. Get you.
He was a brave, bold man.
These are
That's for
Verdi.
sure. And his singers have to be the same way, but I also, you know what it also is? I'm too tired of singing awful or seeing awful Verdi at the Met. Like it's just so bark and bark and
They're
dull.
doing. I like the new Traviata, newish Traviata. The one where it's like the seasons.
I'm not sure if I've seen that,
I like that.
but
I did
like,
not love the new.
it's just
Rigoletto.
it's the singers though. Like
Yeah.
when I go and see them, it's just two phoning it in all the time, and I get it. Yeah, I'm like y'all do this all over the world. You sing these roles. You're
Yeah.
really bored. You got about a week of rehearsal. You know, like I get it, but it doesn't make it good.
Yeah,
And just because you got a great voice doesn't make it good.
that's so true. That's true.
That tower.
Look at this, mine's fading.
Refresh tomorrow.
Mine. It's a pretty lively group too for the service.
That's why it's big enough to open up the back.
I'm on.
Testing 1, 2, 3. Testing 1, 2, 3. You don't have to quiet down just yet. Testing 1, 2, 3. That's better. Thank you. Good Yontif. So for those who don't know what Yontif is, it's one of those unique Yiddish terms, which is really Yom Tov, which is a holiday, but in Yiddish it comes off as Yontif. So we're wishing everybody a good holiday. We also can say Gemar Chatima Tova. Let's try that. Gemar Chatima Tova, which is the greeting, may you be sealed in the book of life. For those who think that's way too much Hebrew, the shorthand is Gemar Tov. Gemar Tov. And as always, we say Shana Tova. It's still the beginning of the new year. I'm Rabbi Jesse Gallup, and this is Cantor Rita Glassman. We are so honored and privileged to share this holy night with each and every one of you. It's always beautiful when our congregation comes together. Thank you to our ushers for helping with this evening, as well as our maintenance and administrative staff who work so hard so that we can all have a beautiful and smooth experience. Thank you to Chris Cregan, our accompanist, our professional choir, Sean Fallon, Aaron Thino, Hannah Holmes, and Aaron Britton, as well as our cellist for Kol Nidre, Danny Hopemark. And thank you to our interpreters, Marianne Brown and Bram Weiser, who add such a beautiful and inclusive way of celebrating the holiday together. As always, we ask that you please join along when appropriate, and we ask for, when we play the music of Kol Nidre, for everybody to please be seated and so we can listen to the beautiful cello music. After that, we'll invite up past presidents for handing out the Torah. So we begin this evening on page 9 with the candle lighting. I would like to invite up Lisa Keller and Saki Yakis.
The human spirit is the lamp of God, searching out what lies within us. Guided by the flame of conscience, on this sacred night we search for truth. Shine your light upon us as we strive to serve you. May we find safety in your faithful love. We light the flame of healing and forgiveness. On this atonement night, we give thanks for love.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav, v'tzivanu lehadlik ner, lehadlik ner. Shel Yom HaKippurim. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, שהחיינו וקימנו והגיענו לזמן הזה. Amen.
We continue on page 15. Kol Nidre, a chant that begins in a whisper and rises to a cry. On this night of promises remembered, each soul in solitude communes with the soul of the universe. God, from this day of atonement to the next, may we reach it in peace. All Israel makes these vows to turn from wrong, dishonesty, and greed, to walk in the path of justice and right. Yet when we know our weakness, how prone we are to fail, help us to keep our word. Help us to act with humility and integrity. We seek pardon and forgiveness. We seek your radiance and light. I would like to invite up current and past presidents of the congregation. If the congregation would please rise as we take the Torahs out of the ark, and then we will continue on page 16. With one voice, assembled, sages past and present declare, all may pray as one on this night of repentance. Let none be excluded from our community of prayer. With one voice, God and congregation proclaim, all may pray as one on this day of return. Let all find a place in the sacred assembly. Page 18.
Yom Kippur
Resolves and commitments, vows of abstinence and terms of obligation, sworn promises and oaths of dedication, that we promise and swear to God and take upon ourselves from this Day of Atonement until next Day of Atonement. May it find us well. We regret them, and for all of them we repent. Let all of them be discarded and forgiven, abolished and undone. They are not valid, and they are not binding. Our vows shall not be vows, our resolves shall not be resolves, and our oaths, they shall not be oaths. Page 20. V'nislach l'chol adat b'nei Yisrael. All shall be forgiven, the entire community of Israel, and the stranger who lives in their midst, for all have gone astray in error. Moses prayed to God, as you have been faithful to this people ever since Egypt, please forgive their failings now, in keeping with your boundless love. And God responded, I forgive, as you have asked.
Vayomer Adonai, salachti kidvarecha. Vayomer Adonai, salachti kidvarecha. Vayomer Adonai, salachti kidvarecha.
We continue on page 22 with the Baruch Hu. We continue in Hebrew on page 24. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher bidvaro ma'ariv aravim, b'chochma poteach sharim, uvitvuna mishanei itim, umachalif et hazmanim, umisader et hakochavim, b'mishmerotehem berakia kirtzono, borei yom v'layla, golel or mitnei choshech, v'choshech mitnei or, umavir yom umei v'layla, umavdil bein yon uvein layla, Adonai tzivot shemo. El chai v'kayam, tamid imloch aleinu le'olam va'ed, baruch atah Adonai, hamariv aravim. Page 26. Together in English. Love beyond all space and time. Your love enfolds your people Yisrael. We receive it in your teaching, your gift of Torah, sacred obligations, discipline, and law. So let us speak these teachings when we lie down and rise up and find joy forever in your Torah and mitzvot. They are the very essence of our life, ours to ponder and study all our days. May we never lose or be unworthy of your love. Baruch atah Adonai, Ohev Amo Yisrael. For you are blessed, the one who loves your people, Israel. Page 28.
Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto Le'olam Va'ed.
Please be seated as we continue on page 32. On page 30, I apologize.
ואהבת את אדוני אלוהיך בכל לבבך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודיך. והיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבביך ושיננתם לבניך ודיברת בם בשבתך בביתך ובלכתך בדרך ובשוכבך ובקומך וקשרתם לאות על ידיך והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובישעריך למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותיי והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם. אני אדוני אלוהיכם אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים להיות לכם לאלוהים. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אדוני אלוהיכם אמת.
Page 38. Together, truth and faith. These are fundamental to our existence. God alone is their source, and we are Israel, a people of God. Our sovereign saves us from tyranny, redeems us from its violence through countless wonders, from its brutality through great feats beyond measure. We are Israel, a people of God, the giver of life, who would not let our feet give way, the maker of miracles for us against Pharaoh, of signs and portents in the land of Egypt, the one who brought our people Israel from its midst to enduring freedom. Page 40. Witness to the heroic might, the people thanked and praised God by name, freely accepting the reign of heaven. Then Moses and Miriam and all Israel sang to you this song of utter joy.
ראו בניך, בוקי הים לפני משה ומרים. זה לי ענו ואומרו, אדוני אלוהינו לעולם ועד.
Page 43. Together, when despair for the world grows in me, and I wake in the night at the least sound, in fear of what my life and my children's lives may be, I go and lie down where the wood drake rests, in his beauty on the water, and the great heron feeds. I come into the peace of wild things, who do not tax their lives with forethought of grief. I come into the presence of still water, and I feel above the day-blind stars. Waiting with their light for a time, I rest in the grace of the world and am free. We continue on page 42 with Hashkivein.
Ashkivenu, Adonai Eloheinu, leshalom, leshalom. Ashkivenu, Ashkivenu, Adonai Eloheinu, leshalom. Ve'hamidenu shumrinu lechaim, uleshalom, uleshalom. Ashkivenu, Ashkivenu, Adonai Eloheinu, leshalom. Le'azalenu, sukat shomecha, Ashirenu, Adonai Eloheinu, Ashkivenu, Adonai Eloheinu, leshalom.
Page 45. For on this day shall be made for you to purify you from all your wrongs, and pure you shall be in the presence of Adonai. Page 46. Let us read together in English. Have mercy upon me, O God, as befits your faithfulness. In keeping with your abundant compassion, blot out my transgressions. Wash me thoroughly of my iniquity, and purify me of my sins. For I recognize my transgressions, and am ever conscious of my sin. Please rise.
Adonai Sfatai Tiftach, Adonai Sfatai Tiftach, Ufi Yagid Tehilatecha, Ufi Yagid Tehilatecha, Adonai Sfatai Tiftach, Adonai Sfatai Tiftach, Ufi Yagid Tehilatecha, Ufi Yagid Tehilatecha. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu v'Elohei Avotenu v'Imotenu, Elohei Avraham, Elohei Yitzchak, Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel v'Elohei Leah, Ha'el Hagadol, Hagibor v'Hanora, El Elyon, Gomel Chasadim Tovim, V'Konei HaKol, V'Zocher Chasdei Avot ve'Imahot, U'mevii Geula livnei b'neihem, Le'ma'an Shemo b'Yahava. Zochreinu, Zochreinu lechaim, Melech, Chafetz b'chaim, v'chotbeinu, 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 b'sefer ha'chaim. Melech u'zir u'moshia u'magen, Baruch atah Adonai, Magin Avraham ve'ezrat Sarah. Amen. אתה גיבור לעולם אדוני, מחיי הכל אתה רב להושיע. מכלכל חיים בחסד, מחיי הכל ברחמים רבים. סומך נופלים ורופא חולים, ומתיר אסורים, ומקיים אמונתו לישני עפר. מי כמוך בגבורות, ומי דומה לך, מלך ממית ומחיה, ומצמיח ישועה, ונאמן אתה להחיות הכל. ברוך אתה אדוני, מחיי הכל.
Page 53. Ata kadosh v'shimcha kadosh u'kadoshim b'chol yom yahalucha selah. You are holy, your name is holy. Seekers of holiness praise you day by day. Selah. Please be seated. Let us continue together in English on the bottom of the page. And so, in your holiness, give all creation the gift of awe. Turn our fear to reverence. Let us be witness of wonder, perceiving all nature as a prayer come alive. We bow to the sovereignty of your strength, the primacy of your power. We yearn for connection with all that lives, doing your will with wholeness of heart, awe-inspiring in your creation, all-encompassing your transcendent name. The middle of page 58. Kadosh atah v'norah shemecha. You are holy. Your name is awe. There is nothing divine beyond you. As the prophet Isaiah taught, the source of all might is exalted through justice, the God of holiness made holy through its righteousness. Baruch atah Adonai, ha-melech ha-kadosh. Blessed are you, Adonai, holy sovereign. Page 62. Vatitein lanu Adonai Eloheinu ba'ava et yom ha-kippurim hazeh. In your love, eternal our God, you have given us this Yom Kippur, a day in which our wrongs are forgiven with love, a day of sacred assembly, a day to be mindful of our people's going out from Egypt. Together, our God and God of the generations before us, may a memory of us ascend and come before you. May it be heard and seen by you, winning your favor and reaching your awareness, together with the memory of our ancestors, the memory of your sacred city, Jerusalem, and the memory of your people, the family of Israel. May we be remembered for safety, well-being, and favor, for love and compassion, for life and for peace on this day of atonement. Page 64. Zochreinu Adonai Eloheinu, bo l'tova, amen. Ufochtenu vo livracha, amen. V'hoshienu vo l'chaim. Eternal our God, remember us. Be mindful of us. And redeem us for a life of goodness and blessing. We continue on the bottom of page 71. Let us read this prayer responsively. On this night of atonement, grant us, God, a sense of your presence as we call upon your name. Purify and strengthen our noble strivings and cleanse us of all unworthy desires. Help us to be loyal to the heritage we share. Draw us near to Torah in wisdom and in faith. Bless us with hope to uplift our daily lives and keep steadfast our courage and our resolve at all times. Page 74. Modim anachnu lach she'atahu Adonai Eloheinu ve'Elohei avotenu v'imotenu le'olam va'ed. Together in English. God who is ours, God of all generations, to you we are grateful forever. Rock and protector of our lives, your saving power endures from age to age. We thank you and tell the tale of your praise, your power in our lives, your caring for our souls, the constant miracles of your kindness, morning, noon, and night. You call you goodness, for your compassion never ends. We call you mercy, for your love has no limit. We call you hope, now and for all time. Page 76. Together, and for all these gifts, God of majesty, may your name come to be blessed and praised. Our gratitude, a daily offering until the end of time. Inscribe your covenant partners for a life of goodness, and may all life resound with gratitude and faith in praise of your name. God, you free us and strengthen us. Baruch atah Adonai, hatov shimcha ulachana et lehodot. Blessed are you, Adonai, whose goodness deserves thanks and praise. Please take a moment for silent prayer and meditation. We continue on page 82. Please rise.
Eloheinu, Elohei Avotenu v'Imotenu, Tavu lefanecha, tefilotenu. תתעלם מתחינתנו, שאין אנחנו הזפנים וקשי עורף לומר לפניך, אדוני אלוהינו,
Our God and God of all generations, may our prayers reach your presence. And when we turn to you, do not be indifferent. Adonai, we are arrogant and stubborn, claiming to be blameless and free of sin. In truth, we have stumbled and strayed. We have done wrong.
Ay, 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 Hashamenu,
Hashamnu,
Bagadenu, Gazalenu, Dibarnu Dofi, Evinu, Vihirshanu, Zadnu, Chamasnu, Tafalnu Shaker, ay, 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 Ya'atznu Ki zavenu, Lotznu, Moradnu, Niatznu,
Niatznu,
Sararnu,
Saranu,
Avinu, Pashanu, Sararnu, Kishinu Oref, ay, 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 Rashanu, Shichatnu, Tiavnu, Ta'inu, Titanu, ay, 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 ay.
Please join me in English. Of these wrongs we are guilty. We betray, we steal, we scorn, we act perversely, we are cruel, we scheme, we are violent, we slander, we devise evil, we lie, we ridicule, we disobey, we abuse, we defy, we corrupt, we commit crimes, we are hostile, we are stubborn, we are immoral, we kill, we spoil, we go astray, we lead others astray. Page 86. For our prayer, Al Chatanu Lefanecha, let us say the Hebrew at the beginning of each paragraph and then continue in the English. Al Chatanu Lefanecha, the ways we have wronged you deliberately and by mistake, and harm we have caused in your world through the words of our mouths. Al Chatanu Lefanecha, the ways we have wronged you by hardening our hearts, and harm we have caused in your world through careless speech. Al Chatanu Lefanecha, the ways we have wronged you through lies and deceit, and harm we have caused in your world through gossip and rumor. Al Chatanu Lefanecha, the ways we have wronged you by judging others unfairly, and the harm we have caused in your world through disrespect to parents and teachers. Al chet shechatanu lefanecha, the ways we have wronged you through insincere apologies, and harm we have caused in your world by mistreating a friend or neighbor. Al chet shechatanu lefanecha, the ways we have wronged you through violence and abuse, and harm we have caused in your world through dishonesty and business. V'al kulam, Elohai slichot, salach lanu, mechal lanu, kaper lanu. For all these failures of judgment and will, God of forgiveness, forgive us, pardon us, lead us to atonement.
כולם אלוה סליחות, סלח לנו, מחל לנו, כפר לנו, ועל כולם אלוה סליחות, סלח לנו, מחל לנו, סלח לנו, מחל לנו, כפר לנו.
We continue on page 88. Al chet shechatanu lefanecha, the ways we have wronged you openly and secretly, and harm we have caused in your world by losing self-control. The ways, or al chet shechatanu lefanecha, the ways we have wronged you through sexual immorality, and harm we have caused in your world through consumption of food and drink. Al chet shechatanu lefanecha, the ways we have wronged you by giving in to our hostile impulses, and the harm we have caused in your world through greed and exploitation. Al chet shechatanu lefanecha, the ways we have wronged you through cynicism and scorn, and harm we have caused in your world through the arrogant behavior. Al chet shechatanu lefanecha, the ways we have wronged you by hating without cause, and harm we have caused in your world through offensive speech. Al chet shechatanu lefanecha, the ways we have wronged you with a slanderous tongue, and harm we have caused in your world through a selfish or petty spirit. V'al kulam, Elohai slichot, salach lanu, mechal lanu, kaper lanu. For all these failures of judgment and will, God of forgiveness, forgive us, pardon us, lead us to atonement.
ועל כולם אלוה סליחות, סלח לנו, מחל לנו, כפר לנו, ועל כולם סליחות, סלח לנו, מחל לנו, סלח לנו, מחל לנו, כפר לנו.
Page 99. Together, will you hear my voice, you who are far from me? Will you hear my voice wherever you are? A voice calling aloud, a voice silently weeping, endlessly demanding a blessing. This busy world is vast, its ways are many. Paths meet for a moment, then part forever. We go on searching, but our feet stumble. We cannot find that which we have lost. Perhaps my last day is already drawing near, drawing close as the tears of parting. I will wait for you till my days flicker out, like Rachel waiting for her beloved. We continue on page 98 with Shema Kolenu.
Shema Kolenu, Adonai Eloheinu, Hu serachim aleinu, aleinu. V'kabel berachamim, berachamim uvratzon el tefilatenu. Why don't you be seated? You can be seated. Hashivenu Adonai elecha, Hashivenu elecha v'nashuva, Chodesh yomenu, yomenu כקדם. אל תשליכנו אל תשליכנו לעת זקנה, ככלות כוחנו. אל תעזבנו. Shema Kolenu, Adonai Eloheinu, Hu serachim aleinu, aleinu. V'kabel berachamim, berachamim uvratzon el tefilatenu.
We continue on page 114 with Avinu Malkeinu. With the congregation, please rise. Avinu Malkeinu Shema Kolenu. Avinu Malkeinu, almighty and merciful, hear our voice. Avinu Malkeinu Chatanu Lefanecha. Avinu Malkeinu, we have strayed and sinned before you. Avinu Malkeinu Chamo Aleinu Ve'al Ol Aleinu Vatapenu. Avinu Malkeinu, have compassion on us and our family. Avinu Malkeinu Kalei Dever V'cherev V'ra'av Me'aleinu. Avinu Malkeinu, sickness, violence, and Avinu Malkeinu Kalei Kol Tsar Umastin Me'aleinu. Avinu Malkeinu, halt the rain for those who Avinu Malkeinu Kotvenu B'Sefer Chayim Tovim. Avinu Malkeinu Chadesh Aleinu Shana Tova. Avinu Malkeinu Malei Yadenu Mibir Chotecha. Avinu Malkeinu Harem Karen Mishichecha. Avinu Malkeinu Na'al Tishvenu Rekam Milfanecha. Avinu Malkeinu Kabel Barachamim Uvratzon Et Tefilatenu. Avinu Malkeinu Asei Imanu Lama'an Shemecha. Avinu Malkeinu Asei Lamancha Imlo Lama'anenu. Avinu Malkeinu Ein Lanu Melech Ela Atah. Avinu Malkeinu Petach Sharei Shemayim Lit Filatenu. Avinu Malkeinu Shema Kolenu Chus V'Rachem Aleinu. Avinu Malkeinu Chonenu V'Anenu Ki Ein Banu Ma'asim Asei Imanu Sedacha V'Chesed V'Hoshienu. Please be seated. There were two gentlemen standing at a train station waiting for a train. The younger man turned to the older gentleman and asked, "Excuse me, sir, do you know what time it is?" There was no response. So he waited a few minutes, and again he asked the young man to the older gentleman, "Do you know what time it is?" And the man again does not respond. So the young man turns to the older man and says, "Why won't you tell me what time it is?" The older man exhales, looks at the younger gentleman. "By answering you, we might even have a nice conversation. And if that goes well, you might even sit with me on the train. And we might talk and have a nice time. And over time, I might even invite you to my house for Shabbat dinner. And there at Shabbat, you might meet my daughter, and you two might connect. And you might even become engaged one day. And why would I want a son-in-law who can't even afford a watch?" Human behavior is so interesting. We yearn so much to be connected, and yet it scares us. You know, me, the Minnesotan who always has to say hi to the person in the elevator. It's a great way to scare New Yorkers. And yet we know that the words of Genesis said, "A man should not be alone." So deep inside, we know we want to connect with people, and it's hard. One of our famous modern theologians, Martin Buber, teaches that the sacred connection between human beings is the divine spirit. So when we take the time to really connect one another, not just a casual hi or a conversation, but a true connection, it becomes holy. And I think for many of us, we're aware of this, especially in a post-COVID-19 world. During COVID-19, many of us felt loneliness and despair. Some chronically deal with this challenge, while others face it situationally, be it illness, the loss of someone special in your life, divorce, a fight with a parent or a friend. There's different reasons why we face loneliness at times. And in many ways, it's an epidemic that is silent, that people hold in shame. So tonight, I want to share a little bit about me, not as Rabbi Jesse, but as Jesse Gallup. Because it is my hope to share some of the struggle with loneliness to take away some of that shame. See, I've been lucky. I grew up, lived a whole life in the Twin Cities, and then when I grew up, I moved to 9 different metro areas, moving every 2 or 3 years. It was great. It taught me how to face awkward situations, introduce myself to people, make friends. And that was really great skills. I was the associate rabbi at one of the largest congregations in Virginia, married a dear friend, and built a family. It all was so great on the outside. Then a few years ago, I moved to the Hudson Valley, and I followed a rabbi who had served for 30 years in a congregation that was dying. I didn't know it at the time I interviewed. It was right next to Curious Joel, which, if people know up there, it's ultra-Orthodox, they're taking over. And it was brutal. For the first time in my life, I second-guessed being a rabbi. Maybe I'm not made for New York. Maybe I'm not as talented as I thought I could be. So then I moved to Westchester. I was lucky enough to be hired to start a brand new day camp. This is where Temple Israel comes in. Starting a new business is a real challenge. It takes tenacity, hard work, disappointments. And by the time we were finally getting to be successful, COVID-19 came. With COVID-19, the New York Department of Health decided all day camps are to be closed. During the same time, I had been newly divorced. So there I was, a divorced dad, worried about being furloughed and losing my job, and not knowing another soul as a friend in New York besides my ex-husband. It was a really hard time. I remember driving in the car one day thinking, this is my rock bottom. But even at my hardest moment, I had 2 special lives. I have 2 children, Parker and Holden, and around that time they were 4 years old, and I knew they needed a dad, and they needed my love. And it was that sustaining connection that lifted me up to give me strength and energy to keep going forward. Why I share this is because I think many of us have faced moments of loneliness and struggle. For me, in the end, it became a blessing. I went to therapy, I rebuilt my life, I'm now happily married and everything is good, and I have 2 wonderful children and even a beautiful relationship with my ex-husband. And what this also taught me was how to be humble, and it got me ready to actually be your rabbi. It helped me to develop a new theology and to have a new understanding of life, that I didn't have all the answers, but I could be a partner on life's journey. And it was through this that it really inspired me to get back into the pulpit and share this life with you. So for me, theology, connection to God, was a really beautiful way of overcoming that loneliness. Many of us have overcome the loneliness and pain of COVID-19, but not everyone. Some of us still have scars and pains and hurt. And tonight, we need to recognize that. Look out into our community. Choose to sit next to somebody who you know is lonely. Really go and look and see who might feel invisible, even though we are around people. God said that we should not be alone. Our tradition says in Pirkei Avot, find yourself a teacher, make for yourself a friend. For us, our Jewish tradition teaches how to deal with loneliness. Faith. God is always there for us. There's the famous theology of the dark night of the soul, that in our most hardest times is kind of the time we find a higher power. And that love is always with us if we let it in. I know for some we struggle with this concept of the divine. But I love the story about walking on the beach where there was 2 sets of footprints. I know it's not a Jewish teaching, but I'll take it anyways. And all of a sudden, you look down the path and there's 2 sets of footprints. And at one point, there's only 1 set. And the person turns to God and says, God, why did you abandon me at my hardest hour? And God responded, I didn't abandon you. I carried you. There are times when we need God in our lives, when it's hard just to wake up, it's hard just to breathe. God is always there for us. In addition, we also need community. Talk to your neighbor. Say hello to the person at the checkout line. Get to know members in our community. Really take time. Go up to that acquaintance that you see, but you haven't talked to in a long time. We need these touching points. We need panim al panim, face-to-face interactions. Because when we look in somebody's eyes, we truly see their souls. We truly see that divine spark within them. Loneliness is inevitable. There's going to be a time in all our lives that we face it. It's what we do with these challenges. It's how we seek out help, and when we talk to a friend and be honest. Be it Facebook, be it TikTok, Instagram, you name it. Everybody's living the fabulous life. But we know the truth. That's why we're here. We come this day before God to own up our shortcomings. Our shortcomings is not being true to ourselves, not loving ourselves, not being humble enough to see that we're all struggling for meaning in this world. Because in that struggle is beauty and awe. In that way of living is what brings joy into our lives. So please tonight as you leave, please make sure to really introduce yourself to the people around you. Please make sure nobody goes home feeling alone. For we all deserve love, respect, and honor. Who knows, you may even make a friend on a train. Good Yontif.
Summer's gone, nights grow cold. These are the days of awe. The shofar blows hand in hand. Down to the sea, we take time, give thanks, and cast our sadness free, that we may start fresh, that we may come clear, that we may know sweetness and peace throughout the year, that we may find love where we need it most. Open our hearts and hands and draw each other close. A day to fast and count the ways we've promised and fallen short. We meet each other's gaze, begin again. Life won't wait, time turns and we return and walk on through the gates, that we may start fresh, that we may come clear, that we may know sweetness and peace throughout the year, that we may find love where we need it most. Open our hearts and hands and draw each other close. Under the moon, a roof of trees, we bring in the harvest. Beneath the stars we eat and sing for joy. Make ourselves strong, we'll reap what we've sown. May it last all year long, that we may start fresh, that we may come clear, that we may know sweetness and peace throughout the year, that we may find love where we need it most. Open our hearts and hands and draw each other close.
We continue with our service on page 116. Would the congregation please rise for the litany?
עלינו לשבח לאדון הכל, לתת גדולה ליוצא בראשית, שלא עשנו כגויי ארצות, ולא שמנו כמשפחות האדמה, שלא שם חלקנו כהם, בגורלנו ככל המונם. ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא.
Please be seated. Page 119. May we gain wisdom in our lives, overflowing like a river with understanding, loved each of us for the peace we bring to others. May our deeds exceed our speech, and may we never lift up our hand, but to conquer fear and doubt and despair. Rise up like the sun, O God, over all humanity. Cause light to go forth over all the lands between the seas, and light up the universe with the joy of wholeness, of freedom, and of peace.
Rise up like the sun, O God, over all humanity. Cause light to go forth over all the lands between the seas, and light up the universe with the joy of wholeness, of freedom, and of peace. Ve'nemar ve'haya Adonai lemelech al kol haaretz. Bayom hahu, bayom hahu, yeh Adonai echad u'shmo echad. Bayom hahu, bayom hahu, yeh Adonai echad u'shmo echad.
Page 121. This holy night concludes with memory. Our last thoughts, always, are of those who we lost. We miss them, especially tonight, yearning for their presence at our side. The service we have shared once was theirs. They spoke and sang the ancient words. They prayed, repented, and yearned for better lives, as we have done. Flawed in their deeds, imperfect in their faith, they still drew strength from their tradition as we seek fortitude in ours. What was good and beautiful in their lives once gave us joy and now inspires us to reach higher. The knowledge that they loved us deeply brings comfort to our hearts. So we light candles of remembrance and gratitude, and we speak the timeless truth. Zichronom livracha. Their memory is a blessing now and forever. We pray that their goodness will live on in our lives, planting seeds of kindness and hope for generations to come. Page 122. I'm going to read names for whose yard sites are on Yom Kippur. I just want to remind everybody that when we say the Kaddish, there are a couple additions in this text. In the middle, you'll see Ul Eila Mikol, and towards the end, you'll see Va'al Kol Yoshvei Tevel. One is an addition we especially do for the high holidays, and the second makes our text more inclusive, asking peace for all peoples. On this Yom Tov, Yom HaZikaron, this Yontif, we think about Howard Eltebet, William Dinkus, Meta Bronstein-Feldman, Emmanuel Goldsmith, Sheldon Greenberg, Walter A. Judelson, Max Kestenman, Sybil Lusbader, Samuel Ostrov, Jack Pressberg, Adeline Bork. We also think of those who are in our hearts, those of our people who have no one to say Kaddish for them, and those of all backgrounds who have made the world a better place. We rise as one people to say the words of the mourner's Kaddish. Yikadal v'yikadash shemei rabbah, b'yalman divrach yotei v'yal michbach chutei, b'chayechon v'yomechon v'chayei dekol beit Yisrael, b'agala b'zman kariv v'imru amen. Yehei shmei rabbah mevorach le'olam olmei olmaya, yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh, v'yitadar v'yitalev v'yitalal shemei dekudusha b'richu. Le'ela u'le'ela mikol birchata v'shirata, tushbechata v'nechemata, dam yiran b'yalma v'imru amen. Yehei shlama rabba min shemaya, v'chaim aleinu v'al kol Yisrael, v'imru amen. Oseh shalom b'mromav, hu ya'aseh shalom, aleinu v'al kol Yisrael, v'al kol yoshvei tevel, v'imru amen. Please be seated. Following the service tonight, the cantor and I will go to the front entrance to do a receiving line to be able to wish you a good Yontif and Som Kol, a easy fast, Gamar Chatima Tova. Our closing song can be found on page 126, Adon Olam. Eloheinu v'Elohei Avotenu v'Imotenu, our God and God of our ancestors, thank you for this opportunity of Yom Kippur, where we have awe and humility, where we stand before you, humble in your service. May we remember to love ourselves and one another. May we remember this world is holy and that none of us are alone. God, be with us on this solemn and important day. Help us not to have despair but hope. Help us to hear the call of righteousness in our lives, and let us hold hands and love one another in healing your world. As together we say, Amen. May you be written and sealed in the book of life. Gamar Chatima Tova.